Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to what's happening across the NFL landscape lately, you've probably heard whispers about some significant roster moves that could very well shape the division, and more importantly, the Commanders' chances of climbing back to the top of the NFC East this season. And no, I'm not just talking about the usual offseason chatter. We're talking about a move that could turn the tide in the secondary, a strategic trade that has NFL insiders buzzing and fans excited. So, sit tight, because what I'm about to tell you might just be one of the most impactful moves for Washington this year. Recently, there have been reports suggesting that the Green Bay Packers, a team with a cap space of around $22 million, are focusing heavily on their offensive line and extending players on their defensive front, especially their edge rushers. It's a logical focus for them as they look to rebuild and prepare for the future. But what's catching everyone's eye is what they're willing to give up to make their roster work. Sources indicate that the Packers are willing to part ways with a versatile safety, Xavier McKinney, in exchange for a third-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. And this isn't just a throwaway move. It's part of a broader strategy to free up cap space after some recent injuries, particularly Harris' IR stint, which left some holes in their secondary. Now McKinney, who is just 26 years old, is a player with a high football IQ and a versatile skill set that makes him a perfect fit for a team's secondary. Over the 2025 season, he recorded 38 tackles, 4 interceptions, and 6 pass deflections, with a coverage grade of 87. One according to PFF, that's elite for a safety. His EPA per target was 45, which means he's effective at limiting the damage in pass coverage. He's also a solid run defender with 25 tackles, missing only about 9% of his attempts. But what really makes McKinney stand out is his ability to excel both in deep coverage and in the box. He's the kind of player who can do it all, similar to what we've seen with players like Fitzpatrick, especially in terms of generating turnovers and supporting in critical moments. His career stats are impressive, with over 140 tackles and 13 interceptions, and he's been a consistent performer with an PFF grade averaging around 86. 2, he's particularly strong in zone coverage, allowing an 88% completion rate when targeted, which is below average in NFL standards, and he generates about +1 turnovers per game, a rate that highlights his knack for big plays. His injury history includes a notable ankle injury in Week 4 of 2025, which caused him to miss 1 game, but overall, he's been a durable and reliable player when healthy. For the Packers, this move makes a lot of sense. They're sitting on a hefty contract of $70 million for McKinney, which is a luxury in a window that's closing on their current roster. They're prioritizing extensions for their offensive linemen and edge rushers, and they're clearly looking to add draft capital, especially for wide receivers, to revamp their offensive weapons. The trade for McKinney, therefore, is a way to clear cap space and focus on long-term rebuilding while still getting a young, talented safety in return. Some analysts have expressed skepticism about the coverage gaps that may arise post-trade, with some saying it could add about +1.0 yards per pass attempt, but others see this as a flexible move that allows them to pursue free agents in 2026 to fill those gaps. Now let's shift gears and focus on what this means for the Commanders. Adding Xavier McKinney to their secondary isn't just a minor upgrade. It could be a game changer. As you know, the Commanders have been working hard to strengthen their defense, and this move could be the piece that finally pushes them into that elite category. McKinney's presence in the secondary would immediately boost their pass defense, raising their pass deflection rate by around 18%. That's a significant increase, and it projects to reduce passing yards allowed per game from roughly 26 to about 22, which is huge when you're trying to stifle high-powered offenses like the Eagles. Statistically, McKinney's addition could elevate Washington's defensive metrics across the board. His projected 7 additional interceptions this season, bringing his total to around 11 or 12, would create more turnovers, an essential factor in winning close games. Think about it, turnovers are often the difference between a win and a loss, especially when you're facing division rivals like the Eagles or Cowboys. With McKinney's ability to hunt for the ball and force turnovers, the Commanders' chances of flipping the script in tight matchups increased dramatically. And it's not just about the stats, it's about the mentality. McKinney brings leadership, experience, and a winning mindset to a defense that has been on the rise but still needs that extra spark. His ability to support in run defense, supporting the run support by around 16%, and to work seamlessly with the defensive line, especially after some injuries to key players, could elevate Washington's defense to a top-tier level. This synergy, combined with his proven track record, makes him a perfect fit for the Commanders' scheme and their quest to contend seriously for a Super Bowl. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. The impact on the overall odds of Washington making a deep playoff run and potentially winning a Super Bowl in the upcoming season. According to recent simulations, the addition of McKinney could improve Washington's Super Bowl odds from around +500 to +200. That's a massive jump, signaling that the betting markets see this move as a real step toward contention. What's more, in playoff simulations, Washington's chances of beating teams like the Eagles, one of their biggest rivals, could increase by approximately 10%. The reason? McKinney's knack for forcing turnovers and disrupting passing games makes him a catalyst in high-pressure situations, especially in the playoffs where every possession counts. This move also echoes the trade that brought Bates to the Falcons in 2025, which saw a similar boost in pass deflections and overall defensive effectiveness. It's a clear strategy. Leverage young, versatile talents who can make immediate impacts and fit into the team's long-term plans. For Washington, this is more than just a trade. It's a statement that they're committed to building a defense capable of competing at the highest level, not just for the regular season, but for the ultimate prize, the Lombardi Trophy. Of course, it's worth noting that the Packers, while taking a step back, are in a bit of a rebuild mode, hesitating to commit long-term and instead focusing on cap management and draft picks. They're a team that's prioritizing their offensive line and looking to extend their core players, but their willingness to trade McKinney signals that they're open to retooling and focusing on future seasons. Meanwhile, the Commanders, with this move, are positioning themselves as serious contenders. They've already been making strategic moves this offseason, and acquiring McKinney solidifies their defense even further, especially in the secondary where they've been seeking stability and playmaking ability. Now let's talk about what this means for the division and the NFC as a whole. The NFC East has been a competitive, often unpredictable division over the last few years, with the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and now the Commanders all vying for supremacy. Last season, the Eagles established themselves as a powerhouse, but with the addition of a player like McKinney, Washington could now challenge that dominance more fiercely. The secondary, bolstered by his presence, will be better equipped to contain explosive offenses and force more turnovers, which are crucial in close games. And if the Commanders can maintain this defensive momentum and combine it with their offensive improvements, they might just be the team to watch come playoff time. The potential for a deep run is real, especially considering the boost to their odds of winning the NFC East and making a splash in the postseason. This strategic move, although not the most headline-grabbing blockbuster, might turn out to be one of the most impactful decisions of the entire offseason for Washington. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this move? Do you think Xavier McKinney will be the missing piece that propels your team to new heights? How do you see the secondary shaping up with him in the mix? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. Your opinions are what make this community great, and I love hearing your insights. Remember, I'll be back soon with even more updates and analysis, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This season could be one of the most exciting yet, and with moves like this, the Commanders are certainly making their statement. Let's keep the conversation going, and as always, hail to the Commanders.